The question is, how do I know whether I am confident or overconfident? One is considered positive, the other is considered negative. I ask you again, how do I declare a quantity X to be positive or negative if I do not know that quantity? I must know something of that in order to declare it positive or negative, right? Do I understand what this confidence thing is? You will go back home after a few hours, most of you. When you are with your parents, let's say with your mother, in a relaxed, tension-free way, do you really require confidence to speak to her? Do you really require to muster up some courage, some confidence to speak to her? It's a natural, smooth, free flow. You do not require any confidence, right? But when you have to speak in front of an audience, when you are standing on a podium, then you require a lot of confidence, right? Yes? Have you wondered why you do not require confidence there and why do you require confidence here? The reason is obvious. You require confidence only when you are afraid. The need of confidence is a sure sign of fear. A person who is acting confident is surely a person who is very, very afraid. Because if you are not afraid, there is no need of confidence. Confidence is just a cover up that you need in order to tackle fear. What is better, to eliminate fear or to wear confidence? To eliminate fear itself. So do not ask me what is confidence, what is overconfidence. Overconfidence is greater fear. If confidence is fear, overconfidence is great fear. Do not ask how to be confident. What do I do in order to get more confidence? Do not ask that. Your query must be, how do I get rid of fear itself? When fear is gone, who needs confidence? When fear is gone, who needs confidence? Then you are cool, comfortable, relaxed. Who needs confidence once fear is gone? Fear arises because you think you have something to lose. Fear arises because you have accumulated a lot of possessions from others. And because they have come from others, there is always a possibility that others can take them back. So you are afraid. That is the root cause of fear. What I have, it can be taken away, so I am afraid. And what do I have? I have my beliefs, I have my self-esteem, I have my relationships, I have a few other accumulations, possessions in life. And because they are all coming from outside, so the mind is always worried that they can go back to the outside. Because they never came to me out of my understanding. They are not my essence. Hence the mind is always afraid. Stop collecting so much. Find that out which is totally yours. When something is totally yours, you cannot lose it, and then there will be no fear. When I know that this is totally and completely mine, then there can be no fear. Whereas when you are insecure and doubtful, then there will be fear. And you will be insecure when all your accumulations have come to you from the outside. Now let's understand this. Why does a person standing on a podium need confidence? If you are asked to come over and speak from here, you will need a lot of confidence. Why will you need a lot of confidence? Right now you are safe and secure and comfortable in your chair. But if you have to come over here, it would be trouble. Then you will need confidence. And why will you need confidence? Because you have allowed even your friends to dominate you. Your self-image has become dependent on what your friends think of you. Your friends declare you to be jovial and fun-loving, and so you think I am jovial and fun-loving. If you stand here and start shivering and your friends declare you uncool and a crybaby, then your whole image will take a dent. So you are afraid. Why have you allowed your self-image to be dictated by others? Why can't you live in your own eye? Why must your image come from the eyes of others? And that is why you need confidence. There is no other reason for seeking confidence. So friend, do not seek confidence. Seek freedom from fear. Once fear is gone, who needs confidence? And fear comes because the thought of losing comes. Is that clear? Something can be taken away from me. That is the only fear. Somebody can take something away from me. I may lose something. And I reiterate, how can I lose something? Because that something has anyway been given by somebody else. Somebody told me, you are precious. So I started feeling I am precious. Now that same somebody can all come and also tell me, you are worthless. And then I will be devastated. Why must you allow somebody else to tell you what you are and who you are and how you are? But you feel so happy. You feel so happy when in the morning someone tells you that you are looking quite handsome today. And you don't even realize that you are opening yourself to slavery. Now you have become a slave of that person. Now you have allowed that person to dominate you. Because that same person can now also say that you are looking totally ugly and you will be shattered. The gates are open, then they are always open. Anybody can come in. If this statement can come in, that you are handsome, the other statement can also come in, that you are ugly. And so you will be dependent and you will be afraid. That is the reason why you are afraid even of your friends. Because they are not really your friends, you have made them your masters. Otherwise, you would not shiver standing upon the podium. There is no reason you would shiver standing upon the podium. Yesterday, I was there with an audience and one of them asked me, I am very afraid of results. I am very afraid of results. When the results are to be declared for 2 days, 3 days, I become very nervous. So I asked him, if you have to take that result sheet and just put it in a cupboard, would you still be afraid? He said, what do you mean, sir? I said, if you have to take that sheet and not show it to anybody, just store it somewhere, would you still be afraid? Would you be afraid if you don't have to show it to anybody, your parents, your friends, the employer? He said, no, sir, then I won't be afraid. If I have to just take it and store it somewhere and not tell about it to anybody, then there is no question of being afraid. So I said, that means that you are afraid because you have to show this to X, Y, and Z, right? He said, yes. So I said, then find out what you are really afraid of. Are you afraid of the result or are you afraid of the parents and friends and employer? You are really afraid of them, not of the result. It is the other that terrifies us. You are not afraid that your communication skills are bad. You are afraid what others will think of you when you speak. Your result doesn't terrify you. What really terrifies you is, what will others think of me when they come to know of my result? Because your entire self-esteem has become dependent on others. And that is a life of suffering. That is deep torture. Are you understanding this? Getting this? Yes? So no more chasing confidence. Not at all. Right? When fear comes, try to understand this fear. Any fear is a sure sign of dependency. Understand that fear and that fear will vaporize. Yes?
Sir, every single thoughts have their own life and existence. How would I able to judge the truth until I have not applied?
Applied what?
Applied on मतलब experience sir. जब तक ट्रूथ को अप्लाइड नहीं करेंगे हम तब तक हम कैसे जान पाएंगे कि क्या सच है?
Let me rephrase this question for you. Essentially, he is asking, how do I know what is real and what is not? How do I know what is real and what is not? The question asks about truth. How do I know what is real, what is the truth and what is not? We'll have to begin by asking, how do we not know the truth? How is it so that most of us remain deluded for long periods of time? What is it that prevents us from seeing the truth? If that is understood, truth is not far. What prevents us from knowing the truth, from knowing the reality? What is it that blocks us? What is it that covers our eyes? Why can't we know the reality? How is it so that we keep living in an imaginary, illusionary world without knowing what is real? We have to understand that first. What is the enemy of knowing? Because to know truth, knowing comes first, right? The faculty of knowing, this knowing comes first. What is the enemy of knowing? Believing is the enemy of knowing. Believing is the enemy of knowing. A mind that is full of beliefs cannot know at all. Till just a few centuries back, the entire humanity kept on believing that the earth is flat and that the sun goes about the earth. Now, figuring out that this is not the case was not so difficult. But mankind kept on believing that the earth is flat. And when your mind is filled with belief, you cannot even see the obvious. When your mind is filled with belief, you cannot even see the obvious. And the truth is always obvious. But the enemy of truth is a mind full of beliefs. Humanity was believing, based on religious scriptures, that the earth is flat. A particular community believes that the earth rests on the back of a giant tortoise. Others had their own versions and books and fairy tales that told them how the sun and the moon go about the earth. And when there is so much of belief, there is no question of really knowing. And this applies to our day-to-day life. The truth, the reality, the fact is right there in front of us. But we think that we already know. And that is the worst form of ignorance. This belief that I already know, this is what prevents the truth from coming to us. I already know. Then how can you know? When you already know, how can you know? These beliefs are what block the truth from your direct sight. I already know. Don't think that it was just those people of the 16th and the 17th centuries who were ignorant. We all too are full of beliefs. We already know what is a good life. We already know what success means. So how can I find it out on my own? But let me just say this to you. It is your great responsibility towards yourself as a young human being to find out the truth of life yourself, not believing in borrowed stuff. Find out what is the meaning of success. Find out what makes life worth living. Find out what joy is, what freedom is, what love is. You are too full of beliefs. Even at this young age, you have taken in so many beliefs. Parents, society, education, media, they have filled up your mind with beliefs. And you have started taking those beliefs to be the truth. None of that is truth. None of that is any more true than the belief that the earth is flat. But you have just borrowed it and internalized it. You think you already know what is a good life. You think you already know what friendship means. You think you already know what is education. You know nothing because you believe so much, because you don't exercise your intelligence. Open your eyes, look at the world around, and look at it as if you are looking at it for the first time, freshly, without the baggage of prejudice. Look at it and then you will know the truth. It's not difficult at all. It's not difficult at all. Find out the real meaning of words like career. What does it mean to work? What is work really? Find out the meaning of the word creation and creativity. What that really is. Don't just believe that everybody thinks that this is the way life should be, this is the meaning of livelihood, this is the meaning of career, this is the meaning of profession. So this must be the meaning. That is an insult to your intelligence, to just take it and internalize it. Don't do that. You deserve better than that. You are capable of better than that. Yes? Yes.
Is there anything like perfection practically?
What's your name?
Saurabh.
Saurabh. How many of you chase perfection sometime or the other? What is perfection? What is perfection except a thought in the mind? You have not known perfection, right? So there is no way to know perfection as a fact. You have only imagined perfection. Be with me. You have only imagined perfection as an ideal state, right? Ideal. And the word ideal has idea at its core. And an idea is nothing but a thought, an imagination. So first of all, you imagine that something is perfect, that this is what is called perfection, and then you run after it. What is this? And then you feel bad. Then you feel bad that I can't attain to this perfection. Nobody can attain to that because that's just an imagination. It's not real. But our mind tells us that it is real and that it can be attained. It is possible to be there. How can it be possible to be at some place which does not exist, which is just imaginary? If it exists, one can go there. But how can you go to a place which does not exist at all, which is just an idea? Perfection is just an idea. You can't reach there because it does not exist. It does not exist. Another thing, see how all your ideas about perfection take you to the future. Not only does the perfect state not exist except in imaginations, even future does not exist. All that you have is this moment, right now. The very thought of perfection carries you away to a fancy state in the imagined future. Life is right now, and you are seeking perfection in future. And why do you seek perfection? Because you think that life is less than perfect right now. You feel unhappy, bored, uncomfortable, dissatisfied. So you ask for a perfect life, right? And you think that perfect life is possible somewhere in the future. It lies there. And that's what your ambition is, to reach there. If you are thinking of perfection in the future because you are unhappy right now, please cure the unhappiness right now itself. If the disease exists right now, it cannot be cured 4 years later. The imagination of future gives you a false promise that your unhappiness of today can be cured by a perfect future sometime there. Don't you see that you are imagining that perfect future only because you are unhappy right now? If you are unhappy right now, cure it right now, because you exist right now. Everything else is imaginary. You exist in this moment. You can't breathe in the future. Try breathing in the future. You live right now. And if you are unhappy right now, take active action. Understand it right now. And cure that unhappiness right now. What is all this dream stuff about perfection and all that? That I will be happy when I get that result. I will be happy when I am married. I will be happy when I get that job. What is all this utter nonsense? See why you are so restless right now. See how you are divided and torn right now. Once you understand that, freedom from suffering is right now. And the thought of perfection is always in the future, an imaginary thing. Yes? But that is too much work. The thought of perfection gives us some comfort. Keep sitting in your chair and imagining a nice future. Life is bypassing you right now, but who bothers? It's a very convenient escape, very, very convenient escape, thinking about the future. Right now I am in a rut. Right now I am in a totally rotten state. But then I can coolly escape to thoughts about the future and close my eyes. Close my eyes and think about the perfect future and become happy. The rut exists right now, treat it right now. You are sick right now. That imaginary treatment will not give you anything. Are you getting it? Not getting it. Too much. Too much to understand and too much work. Sir, who wants to work right now? Who wants to understand right now? It's far more safe and convenient to escape to the future. Don't live like that. Don't live like that.